Hey, what's going on there, everybody? This is Sammy Leggett here representing Team JVS. Here to give you guys another movie review, and I'm talking about The Nickel Boys. This is directed by Ramel Ross. Amazing cast, but I'm gonna get to the cast in a little bit. But the background of it is you got a person named Elwood Curtis, and Elwood is got really big dreams. There's a lot of things that he wants to do, and his grandmother, played by Anjanou Ellis Taylor, is imploring him and encouraging him to do the best. And unfortunately, he is sentenced to a location called the Nickel Academy, where this is supposed to be a reform school that houses black and white and different colored people there. But this academy, unfortunately, is not as though it seems. It is actually an oppressive, bigoted, abusive, and volatile place. And unfortunately, Elwood is trapped there without any kind of consideration of his well-being. And unfortunately, people, youth, kids as young as like 7 years old, are trapped there as well. And it basically surrounds Elwood's progression as a man, coming to terms of what's going on, what's happening, what he's trapped in, and meeting someone on the inside named Turner that kind of is already jaded, but they're finding a kinship to try to get through the circumstance together. Now, this takes place during, Jim Crow South. This takes place in Florida. And unfortunately, this is not a story for the faint of heart, because the way that the story is even done is the recollection of Elwood thinking back to his time there and dealing with the trauma of it, because you go through different levels of time where he's kind of thinking about it, like whether he's, married, or whether he's dating, or whether he's, trying to go and work to his new job. Like you go back and forth in time with him. And the thing that makes this film so revolutionary, whether you know it or not, it is done through a first person view. I know that sounds really weird, but the way that they handle this film, it is so personal. When it takes place in present day, or more to like a future version of Elwood, the shot is filmed behind him. So you can see his shoulders, you can see his head, and it's just filmed like that. When you're in the past, you're watching through his eyes and communicating through what he sees. And the only other time you see a different point of view or different reaction of things that are happening is through Turner's eyes. And I love, and I mean love, the way that they handle the cinematography from the technology standpoint, because there are certain moments where you just are honed in just off their expression, off of their conversation, and you are having to sit with the reality of how sick of a situation this is. Now, this is what's going to get it even crazier, is that this is based on an actual place. This is based on a location in Florida that's the Dozier School, that now, since, thank God, has been taken down, I think as of 2011, 2012. But it was going on for 100+ years. This is an actual reality where kids are being physically abused, sexually abused, assaulting themselves. Like it's almost like a high functioning prison. So instead of them going to juvie or adult prison, they're stuck there, presumably being taken care of, or presumably being reformed, when really they're being subjugated to things that are going to effectively disintegrate their hearts and their souls for the rest of their life. Because no one knows, and it is a lot. But let me go ahead and talk about the cast. So cast as Brandon Wilson played the role of Turner, Ethan Harrisay playing the role of Elwood. You got Hamish Linklinker playing the role of Spencer. Spencer's one of the people that oversees the school. Anjanou Ellis Taylor plays the role of Harriet, or not Harriet, but Hattie. She is Elwood's grandmother or aunt. Craig Tate, if you've seen Craig Tate in We Are the Ones Who Live, which is the last Walking Dead, he's such a great actor. You've probably seen him in Snowfall as well. And again, this is a very big cast, but there's a lot there's a lot of emotional weight to deal with the circumstances that are going on. I have to say, and I gotta give her credit, Anjanou Ellis-Taylor, for me last year in 2023, for Origin, I felt like was one of the best performances of the year. And in this year, she's got 3 different big movies she's been in, but 2 of them, including this one, was, to me, award worthy. The other one is Exhibiting Forgiveness, but for Nickel Boy, she just plays such a strong, powerful, yet loving and sincere, uncompromising soul that just really wants to go and help her child. Craig Tate, and he's only in maybe a few moments, has one of the best monologues that takes place in a bar that basically surrounds what is real trauma and what does trauma do, and how do people go and not just overcome it, but rationalize it. It is very heavy. It's very a lot. Brandon and Ethan's chemistry, though, because again, like, we're watching it through their lens. So sometimes where you're like, maybe you're through Brendan's eye as Turner, you're looking at Ethan as Elwood and what he's internalized and what he's just had happen to him. Or the opposite of that, Ethan looking at, Brandon's character Turner, and, him trying to course correct something that he just can't deal with. It is so well done. There's other actors involved. Fred Hitchinger, playing the role of Harper, kind of works with like Brandon Wilson's character Turner a little bit. Shout out to Fred, because he was just in Gladiator Part 2, and I think his performance in this is better. So all around, the performances were really good. I think the thing that really good is subjective, because this honestly felt really real, because the way that it's shot and framed, you're just stuck in it. Like, it's as though this is actually happening to you. And that's a very jarring but very important, vital thing, to find a way to overcome hopelessness with like revelation and understanding, and not relenting to what somebody says, like, oh, well, we should just bury this. No, unearth it. And I think that is one of the biggest messages and overarching things about this. This is such a good film. I really did not anticipate how much I was gonna react to this. I think that the writing for it is very well done. It's very personal. It feels like this is a really living, breathing account to something that's actually happened, which it is based on true events, but I don't know how to say how real and natural it actually feels. And I think that's the way, courtesy to how it was directed. Now, in terms of how they handle like the score, the cinematography, and the positioning, I think the cinematography, I mean, it's a testament itself from a technological standpoint, is breathtaking. But as far as the score, they choose certain specific themes and songs. I think they did a really good, smart thing with it. I just really love the pacing as well. For a movie to go back and forth in time, and the pacing to actually progress, and you're not losing any kind of effect whenever the characters go back to where they were, or in the past or in the present, I think you've got something, and you've won me on it. This is another A. I don't have really that many negatives about it at all. It's just harsh, and I think that there's certain moments of like hopelessness that you feel like basically off the page, so to speak, when these men are performing in the way that they are. And again, like, there's a shot where they're walking underneath a building overpass, and they just kind of look up, and that look up is kind of like they were looking up at us. It was really, really intentional, but I really enjoyed this film. Highly recommend you go and check out Nickel Boys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Peace, people.